You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. If you're just joining us, we're about to ask and answer the question, why won't people serve on the board? Why is it difficult? There are some associations that seem to have no problems or issues with that at all, but there are some boards, it's like pulling teeth to try and get someone to volunteer. And why is that? I'd love to hear from you. Why do you think that occurs? The number here to call 651-289-4488 before we get into that topic. Quick reminder to those in the second hour, we have a free subscription, a bi-monthly newsletter. It's yours free for the asking. Give us a call, 952-922-2500. Ask for Courtney to get your free subscription. And, of course, we're broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios and brought to you this second hour by Extreme Exteriors as well. Well, folks, why is it that people don't want to serve on the board? What do you think? I think there are a couple things that come to mind for me. The first one, at the top of that list, is a lack of awareness. I think homeowners sometimes have little knowledge of the true operation of the homeowner association. Sometimes people only are involved to the extent of asking the question, how much is all of this going to cost me? And part of that goes into I guess, the way that the home in a homeowners association is probably offered for sale from the very get-go. People keep talking about the great savings of time and efficiency and clout that you have with services being provided, and all that's really true. But you've got to get away from the notion that home ownership means becoming uninvolved. The person who's uninvolved with their home is I'm sorry to say, but is a fool. You don't want to leave it to other people to always decide what's going to happen and when. You need to be involved in your homeowners association, and so you need to take the time to find out what's going on. So in the very least, folks, if you're getting meeting minutes from your homeowners association, you're getting the financials, how hard would it be really to take 10, 15 minutes to read them, study them, maybe give a call to the management company and ask a few questions, okay? Number two, why don't people serve on the board besides a lack of awareness? Sometimes it's time constraint. People bought into an HOA, like I just mentioned, because they want to save time, not to give it. They want to be able to be more efficient, be able to have more time to them for themselves. People are quite honestly busy with work and family, and of course, so time constraint is a common thing that we hear. A third issue for folks, why don't people serve on the board, that we hear that's right up there, and I think this is a big one: fear of responsibility. Is that you? Have you decided not to participate on your board of directors? Number one, because you lack confidence. There are a lot of people who don't want to be on the board because they say, I don't know what it would be to be a president of the board, the treasurer, the secretary. Oh man, I don't want to do that. Some people fear the liability, the possibility of being sued. You know, we talked about that earlier in the show. There is something that's called D&O insurance, Directors and Officers Insurance. It's intended to be there to protect and bring up a shield for those that serve on the board who are doing so in executing their duties as a board member in good faith. It does not protect someone who's doing something in a knowing fashion in trying to take advantage of someone. Another thing to remember, though, is when you're on a board of directors, that's wonderful. That's why you have what's called a corporation. Perhaps you've heard of this before, what's called the corporate shield. The reason why businesses and others incorporate is so that individual owners of that corporation are shielded and protected from lawsuits. The organization known as the association, the organization known as that particular business has insurance, and they have a responsibility. They may end up having a financial obligation, but it allows people that are directors to be shielded from some of that. And so I think you can probably serve, knowing that in just about all cases, it's very rare that an association has any legal issues like that anyway. And even when that's the case, it's still not a common thing to be worried about. But fear of liability, of being sued, is one. People have fear, like I said, of lack of confidence. Some people have a fear of responsibility. Why? Because they just simply don't like confrontation. That's a little bit of the Minnesota nice. We can kind of sometimes take little pot shots off at the side, talking to one friend in confidence about something we don't like. But far be it from us to ever just be confrontational with someone up front. I know one person who says this quite often, and he does so in a joking way, but there is some reasons for it. He says, when asked or confronted, what do you think? Should it be X or Y? And he says, I feel strongly both ways. I mean, sometimes people just have difficulty making decision. And so there's that fear responsibility, because you're going to have to make a decision. And when you make a decision, some people are going to like that and some people aren't. And so people have a hard time dealing with confrontation. And so that is another very big reason or fear why people don't want to serve. Another one has to do with the us versus them mentality. How many times have you heard that? You know, we have it ingrained in us, this notion that authority must always be challenged. I don't mind challenging authority, and I think everybody knows that in the United States, people love their freedom, but I don't know that there needs to be that kind of confrontational approach all the time, that you have to challenge and question absolutely everyone. Sometimes the reason why I found in my personal experience, why some people have difficulty trusting someone and always challenging something is because that individual has either been burnt by someone very badly, or number two, they're the kind of person they know deep down in their heart of hearts that they would take advantage of someone, and they know how they are in their own heart, and so that's why they put that upon other people too. So there's an us versus them mentality, and so all people serving in any form of government, people are seen as also as an incompetent bureaucrat sometimes, with the us versus them. Versus we don't take a look at someone who is participating in government or as a serving someone else. And I think we've kind of lost some of that. The last thing that I'll mention here, and then we're going to take another quick break here, and that is why people don't serve on the board, is I think there is a misplaced understanding of what's called the landlord mentality. People are thinking, wait a minute, I'm not living in a rental anymore. You're not the boss of me. Why should you be able to tell me what to do? I don't want to be on the board because I don't want other people to think that I'm telling them what to do. Other people may not like being on the board because they see that as being hypocritical, that everybody should be able to live on their own. But you need to remember that when you live in a homeowners association, you've already given up part of your right in this community of or group or neighborhood of people in order to be able to act together. And so it is not one where someone is just the boss over you. It is an agreement where you said, I'm going to be willing to be adult and live within a consensus of the majority of the people in this community, on this block, that share these amenities and these services. And that's what you need to remember. So it's not one of lording over someone. It is a matter of understanding that it is a shared and respectful authority, that you've given up some of your rights. Well, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up one last segment on who has the greater duty, the individual in a homeowners association or the HOA itself. We'll be back after this.